There's something very unique about this show because it's being back in Trois-Rivières where I've studied and left conservatory, being myself musically, sort of presenting my own composition in front of those people gathering in an outdoor setup. No one knows what to expect. I just wish people will be there for the right reason, for the music.
Mesdames et messieurs, Monsieur Jean-Michel Blais!
I'm born in Nicolette City, which is a small town, countryside in French Canada, in Quebec. It's a lot about space and nature, and it's always been very inspiring, this connection. Every time I'm home at my parents', I run through this place, or I just take my bike and I go for a ride. There's music to it. And the best show would just be to have a piano there and play with this in the background. It's very real, you know, that's reality to me, and it's good to go back to it. Right on the other side, that's where the show is gonna happen. It's like a slightly bigger city than where I'm from. So something I tend to forget is that I had tics and twitches when I was a kid and teenager. It was very intense at some moments. I've learned when I was 21 years old that I had Tourette syndrome, but when it all started when I was very young, my parents didn't know what to do with that. And I remember the first time I played the piano that my tics would stop and I would be focused in the present. And we tried so many things to cure this, and somehow music is the very thing for me to help to calm down. And the more I play and the more it was helping. This is the place where I started playing little shows, like gathering, I don't know, 50, 60 people, friends, family. And I still want this music to feel very intimate and connected. And maybe that's why my recording are involving those sounds of nature and people breathing and existing in an actual space. And I think it's from here. It started, I would say, for real when I met my piano teacher, Luce, who had a grand piano. That's my first encounter with culture at large, with literature, with like paintings and all of that. It was a very important shift in my life.
Après 5-6 ans de cours avec moi, j'ai dit peut-être qu'il est vraiment fait pour une carrière. L'idéal, c'est vraiment de le former pour qu'il passe une audition pour le conservatoire. Et là, il saura s'il est fait pour être un interprète ou pas.
At one point she said, now I've done, I think, the best I can do for you, and from now onwards you need more, and we'll prepare you to go to enter conservatory. Being at conservatory was a great moment. I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people in music. But it's something as if I wasn't at my place, you know? I wanted more than this, or something different that it couldn't offer to me. And this is why I quit. Took my backpack, and I flew to Guatemala without speaking Spanish in the mountains with orphans. That's what I did. Poor mom.
Il faut qu'il aille sur le terrain. On a souvent dit, Jean-Mi, des fois on n'était pas d'accord avec telle situation qu'il voulait vivre. Des fois on avait plus peur que lui.
Il prend pas 2 ans à se faire une idée. Là. Très rapidement, là, son idée est faite, c'est fini. C'est pas ça que je veux faire.
While in Guatemala with those kids, there was some limits for me to help them because of the language, and they were speaking Kaqchikel mainly, which is not a language I still master. I was like, why am I not doing this but with my own people in Quebec and trying to help? And that's what brought me back here, and that's when I decided to study special education. Once my studies were over, I moved to Montreal, arriving here on my own, knowing no one. And I felt I was seeing recurrency in the issues, and I started to find out that maybe this wasn't fulfilling enough for me. I started having those very weird recurrent dreams that I was 80 years old, about to die, and life was telling me I chose the wrong path, which is very intense. That's why I started I would say a more bohemian lifestyle. I was spending my summers in Berlin, learning German, listening to electronic music, but then studying liberal arts here in Montreal all year long and working at Dépanneur Café in the meantime. So someone had spoken to me about the Pana Café like years ago. I guess in the first weeks I arrived in Montreal. It took me 2 years to take my bike and my courage to go there, pass in front of it, and eventually get in there and asking the owner, can I play the piano? I remember sitting there and I just started playing some of my song, improvising. But playing at the Pana Café is the very first time that I was encouraged to do who I was musically. And I felt the closer I was to me, more intense the attention of the crowd became. And this is very important. It gave me all the courage and the strength to learn how to play in public. Basically, I had this little sheet of paper where I would write the titles of my compositions. And there's this day I was looking at the title and I couldn't remember what it was. And I freaked out. I was like, what if this was very good and now it's lost? I went to one of my friends, asked him, can you help me record my music so I wouldn't forget it? We recorded it in a very similar room to this one with the window open, and we tried to record it on grand piano in beautiful venues, and it didn't work because it was too perfect and the sound was too controlled. So having live through it, sounds of the street going through in the mic was very important, and this is how this album came. One of the things I couldn't have expected is that this album, handmade here in the Myland, would end up in a top 10 Time magazine of 2016. It's just those things that happened that probably showed me somehow that I think I should continue and focus and dedicate more to music. In my shows, I talk and we have breaks and I improvise a lot and I explain a bit what's going on, classical structure behind the songs, and I always like to talk on stage and explain what I was about to play because I always feel people needed to know. It's curious how in my show, people don't take their phone for filming. They just take this time to turn it off and just be there. The beauty of those moments remind us that we live in the present. And curiously, through doing this, making music, playing shows, this is very powerful. It's a very indirect way to influence positively in people's life. Music allows me to speak clearly in a universal, ununderstandable language, sort of, but that still speak a lot to people. And this is something I can give them, this very sacralized moment. I think I've done my job.